Why are black women the only women who have their hair criticized? Why are black women the only ones? Number two, why are black men so concerned with black women's hair when they don't even care about anything else regarding black women? That's what's crazy. They don't care about black women's femicide rate, black women and black girls being ex-trafficked, anything that's regarding black women or black girls except their hair. Have you ever wondered why that is? Number three, why can every other woman do what she wants with her hair and not be judged? White T women, white T Latinas, Asian women, Indian women, everybody can wear extensions, K-tips, all of these things, dye their hair a million different colors, and nobody says anything about it. The only people that people say something about are black women. Why is that? Number four, how come no one, when we talk about black men talking about black women's hair all the time, which is always a topic of discussion, or them trying to use black women in the way they wear their hair as an insult, why is it that no one ever talks about black men and the fact that the majority of them cut their hair completely off, or they have their hair in locks and things like that, and a lot of black men don't even upkeep them, like they have, 20 inches of new growth and don't even shampoo their locks? Or let's not even talk about the black men that use texturizers. Have we forgotten about black men that back in the day, what is that, like the 50s, where they did like the conks and things like that? Yes, here. So as I was saying, you got, if y'all remember, like, I think that was in like the 1940s or 50s when black men were getting like relaxers too, or calling them conks, and like combing their hair back like white tea men. Or even now in this day and age, black men getting texturizers, like, which is just essentially the same as a baby relaxer. Nobody talks about any of that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about that too. And also BOK men wearing hair pieces with silky hair on it. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? And that's not a problem, but why in the world are you talking about? How come that's not discussed? We only talk about black women's hair. Then finally, oh no, number five. Do you think that wearing wigs and weaves as a black woman is a form of self-hatred? And my thing is this, is that when these other races of women wear tape-ins, clip-ins, K-tips, wigs, weaves, and in between, why is it that no one thinks that what they're doing is self-hatred? So yeah, that's a question, okay? And then lastly, number six. With all of the problems, and I say this all the time, with all of the problems that black men have in the black community amongst themselves, why are they only concerned with black women's hair? Hey, how you doing, Chilo Tam? Why are they only concerned with black women's hair? That is a question that I really would like an answer to from black men. I really wish I could get a black man that is really concerned with black women's hair and really ask that. Like, I would love to ask that. Like, is there a reason why you're concerned with black women's hair? Is there a reason why you are concerned, out of all the things that you could be concerned with, the state of the world? Hey, how you doing, Gabrielle? The state of the world, the state of the black community, the unaliving rates amongst black men, the piss poor life expectancy, all of that. Exactly why would you take your time to be concerned with how a woman wears her hair? That whether she has a sew-in, whether she has a wig, whether she has natural twist out, whether she has, a small fro or a large fro or a mini twist or boho knotless. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, I'm really, 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 really concerned about that. It's very strange. Let me see. I think somebody said something in the comments. Mariana, you said, hold on, let me see. Marlene. Marlana, you said, and BM are always talking about black women dyeing their hair blonde as if they don't do it. Exactly. I say this all the time. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 2%. If I'm not mistaken, I could get my laptop of the population, the world population has blonde hair. So most of the time when you see anyone of any race dyeing their hair blonde, they or their hair is blonde, it is not natural. It is a dye job. So why is it that other races of women are not chastised for dyeing their hair blonde? Huh? That's my question. You never hear it, right? You never ever hear people shame white tea women, people shame Asian women, people shame Indian women about having blonde hair. Oh, you don't love yourself. You don't love yourself. Why don't you accept your natural brunette hair or your natural ginger hair? You never hear it. You never hear it. You never hear it. And that's because when people can find a way to shame black women, to put black women down because of anti-blackness, they will. And it's really just that simple, you know? But yeah, so that's today. That's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? Because it's just something that, like I said, I'm really concerned about, you know, because it's just like, this is 2025. We have a lot more to be worried about than someone's hair. Like, honestly and truly, there's a lot of things that we as black women and black men could be concerned with before we're worrying about somebody's hair. And I also think that it's a form of misogynoir as well when you talk about black women's hair, because you know how black women have been made to feel insecure about their hair and have been shamed for how they move around in this world, and you're trying to add to that because you're a sick person and you like to make black women feel bad about themselves. Okay, so let me start down here. Go ahead, Gabrielle. Go ahead, sis, and good morning. Hope you're doing great.
Yeah, thanks. You too. Good morning. I did want to start off by saying I don't think anything that BMs have to say about this topic should be taken seriously. I mean, BMs at the end of the day, they are just using this as a way to tear down BLK women. So I just me personally, I just wouldn't put any stock on what they have to say about it because it's not coming from a genuine place. It's not coming from any kind of concern. But with that said, I do have some thoughts about these topics. If I can just, I promise I will be respectful and like mindful of like all the nuance and stuff. But is can I kind of like share my thoughts or
Oh, Gabrielle, yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought that you would. Say
oh
however you feel. Like even if I disagree or the people in the chat disagree, it doesn't matter. We all have our own thoughts and
oh
opinions. Please don't feel like you can't express yourself. Go ahead.
okay, so I just want to say as far as number five goes, I don't think it's always self-hatred. I just want to start that like I'm not saying every BLK woman who wears a weave or wears a wig that it's self-hatred, but I will say I know personally, like a few years ago, I was friends with this girl, like I grew up with her in like middle school or whatever, and she would always say, "Oh, your hair looks so great," because I've always just like worn my like natural hair. I've just, for me, again, just me, I've just always felt more comfortable with it. And then she was like, "Oh, I could never do that," and she wore a weave, which is like her choice. But she literally told me I do not like my hair, and she had the same hair texture as me, 4C. So I mean, in that case, it seemed to me she was saying she didn't like her hair. She said that's why she would wear weave. I have also seen some stuff online about like traction alopecia, or about like, I think with weave in, like basically I guess if it's sewn too tight can actually pull back the hairline and cause like breakage and damage. So I really really don't think it's self-hate in every single case, but I think sometimes it is. And I mean, I'm really just trying to not be offensive when talking about this because I know it is like a sensitive issue. But I mean, at the end of the day, any woman can do what she wants to do with her hair for sure. But I mean, just okay. So do you remember like the last live I was in when this topic kind of came up? Or
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it yeah, and so so like the thing about like Forestry hair, I just thought it was interesting that some of the ladies, it's not every lady in the chat, but some of the ladies went on there and made comments about my Forestry hair. It's like, how, if again, not you host, obviously, but just like you, just generally speaking, like if you are someone who does not hate your hair, why are you tearing down another BLK woman for wearing 4C hair? Like, I mean, again, this is not every woman with weave. I'm just saying I have seen some women who wear weaves say really derogatory things about 4C hair, that it can't be taken care of, and that's just not true. I mean, granted, there is work you have to do, and I do use certain products, and like before I go to sleep, I like comb my hair and like pin it up so it doesn't like tangle overnight and stuff like that. But I've just seen some women, not all, who wear weaves and wigs just say terrible things about 4C hair, saying they don't like it, that it looks terrible, that you can't do anything with it. And I feel like that, in my opinion, does seem like self-hate. But my timer is running out, so I'll just land there for now.
Okay, I got you, Gabrielle. Well, I'll say this, like, them attacking your hair, you know what I'm saying, is not cool. But I think, if I can say this, I don't know how to say it without sounding crazy. Like I said, to everybody who doesn't know, I did hair for years. Licensed cosmetologist, did hair for years, did of course black women's hair, and also white tea women's hair and other races as well. Did a lot of natural hair as well. And the first hair salon that I ever went to was a natural hair salon where it was owned by a black woman, and she was into natural hair. That's all she wanted to do at the salon. So when I say natural hair, I mean like she wanted to do like 2-strand twists, twist outs, silk presses, just focusing on natural hair and health and healing. So that's the first hair that I learned how to do, was like the first really style once I got to be a professional and I actually got paid, other than them graping me in hair school and making me do all them people's hair for free, and hoping that they'll give me a tip. Well, most of the time they didn't. So I understand, what is all involved in dealing with, your hair in its natural state. I think that when we have these conversations about 4C hair, a lot of times people don't be real, and they don't be honest. That when someone's hair is 4C and depending, and I don't even want to use 4C per se, depending on the texture of your hair, right? It is more work to do than, let's say, a white person hair that come in there with stringy hair that just sits on their scalp, that when you wash it, it's too dry in 2 seconds. That is a fact. And there are people that don't know how to do their hair. There are white people that don't know how to do their hair. There are Asian people that don't know how to do their hair. And for some reason, when a black person don't know how to do their hair, it's like, oh my gosh, you're black, you should know. Like, no, it's plenty of people that don't know how to do their hair, which is the reason why hairstylists have a business. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a nuance that we don't talk about. We don't talk about that there are types of, I guess, the kinkier type of hair, which I have, mind you, so I'm not shaming nobody for having kinky hair, that gets mad at it. Like, you can wear your hair, and it's been plenty of times I've decided to wear my natural hair and to twist out, and it looks great. First 3 days, I'm doing everything that I need to do. The 3rd, 4th day, I wake up, it's matted. You know what I'm saying? On the side or whatever. I think that we don't talk about it's a lot to do. It's a lot to do. And so many black people say, oh girl, it's just the way. No, it's a lot to do. Especially if you compare it with the races of people's hair. But that doesn't mean that you can't wear your natural hair. I just think that a lot of times people are not, I think we want to make it like it's the same. And it's not the same. So if somebody has a job to go to, like, I know for me personally, like going on vacation, if I'm going on vacation with my husband or something like that, I'm always going to make sure that I wear braids, right? I may wear my natural hair and stuff like that out at home, but not when I'm on vacation, because who wants to be dealing with that? All the extra steps that it takes. I'd rather just go ahead, boom, I got the braids in, get up, boom, style the braids, lay my baby hairs, boom, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? But so it's like there is a reason why so many black women get braids on vacation, but people be lying. Like, I don't know. I see all the sides, you know what I'm saying, to it. But I do feel like another thing is, if you are a person that has natural hair, right? And you want to try to, like, I don't want to say shame, but you want to tell black women like, hey, why you don't wear your natural hair? I do. Then your hair has to be on point. Like, it has to be on point. Like, I just feel like if you just have it and it's not really looking luxurious, and I don't mean that it has to be something other than 4C, but if your hair is not looking on point and you just got it, like, I don't know how to say this, like, it just, like, I don't know, like a puff or something, I think more black women are going to give you pushback Because they're gonna be like, your hair not looking like nothing. Like, so why are you even telling me about anything? Like, you're trying to get me to do something. It's like if I'm trying to get somebody to like, I'm telling people about fitness and the benefits of that, and I'm so this, that, and the third, and then I expose myself and I'm not looking like nothing. People are gonna be looking at me like, the fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You don't even look like what you I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. But I just like I said, I understand all sides because once again, I did hair for years. And oh, and also, and I'm sorry, I did mention locks. Locks, sister locks, micro locks, those are also beautiful. If I had the patience to sit and also to go through the stage of where it looks unattractive as you're growing, I would definitely do that. I like that too. But anyway, like I said, I love all hair. I think black women look great in however they wear it. But I do find it, I don't know, I just feel like we're the only ones that would be accused of self-hatred for wearing a weave. Because no one does that to anyone else. And that's really the biggest problem I have in it. But I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna let Chilote speak, and then I'm gonna get back to Gabrielle because I'm sure Gabrielle has some things to say because I know she feels passionate about hair or like natural hair and stuff. Let me go over here to Chilote.
Hi, Triggered. Good morning. Can you
Hey,
hear me?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. I feel very strongly about this topic. Very, very strongly about it. I have parents who my parents' business is hair care, so they import hair care products from America and they sell it in Nigeria. I'm also natural. I've been natural for about 5 years. Before I even went natural, I had no idea how to take care of my hair because I grew up with relaxed hair. And my hair was very not thin, but like it's not dense, so having natural hair now kind of gives me a denser kind of look. In terms of self-hatred, I think this is a two-sided coin, right? Because we have grown up in a generation or in a century where, right, our hair has been politicized and we've been taught to dislike our hair. But at the same time, I don't like to be stuck in the area of, okay, yeah, we all grew up like this, but how can we get out of this? Because at some point, it's kind of like up to you to learn about your hair. I don't have a problem with wigs or weaves per se. I think my main problem is when people prioritize wigs and weaves that don't match our hair texture. And I know that people say, oh, black people can grow straight hair. I agree with that. But for the most part, and I have 4C hair, right? For the most part, most of us don't have straight hair. But if I'm wrong, you can correct me on that. So I just feel like, yeah, personally, I don't agree with, wearing silky textured weaves and wigs, but that's just my personal bias. But I'm not gonna like attack another woman for doing it. I'm certainly not gonna agree with a man if he's talking about that stuff. Um, but I do feel like there is some responsibility on our part to learn about our hair, to take care of our hair. Everything I learned about my hair, I learned it from YouTube. Nobody taught me how to do it. And I was, just naturally curious because I really do think kinky hair and Afro textured hair personally, I feel like it looks better on us, like aesthetically. Um, I say my timer is running out, but in terms of black men talking about our hair, I just I just don't understand why men like to insert themselves in things that don't concern them. I don't feel like men should be, and even if they may be making good points, I don't want to hear it. I just feel like they shouldn't um put their mouths in things that don't concern them. Um, I let me see. Let me see. Using texturizers. Okay, I don't think I have any issues with that. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I'll circle back since my timer is running out. But yeah, thanks.
Okay. All right, all right. I got you. I appreciate you, Chilotem. I just have a question for Chilotem and Gabrielle. Have you guys ever wondered why the only people that get accused of self-hatred for doing certain things to their hair are black women? No one accuses white women of self-hatred, as I said earlier. Nobody accuses Asians of self-hatred when I see them over there rocking boho knotless and feed in braids and laying baby hairs, and the men over there getting pipe cleaners in their hair to get Negro perms, which they put these itty bitty pipe cleaners on their hair and put this chemical thing so that they can get froze, so that they can have cruddy cuts. I see a whole bunch of Asian men that get these things put down and they cut their hair down so that they can have brush waves. They bring in pictures of Nas and everything like that. No one says anything to anyone about self-hatred except black women. Nobody says it to black men either. Like I said, when we talked about the texturizers that black men had plenty of times. Genuine, when he was back in his day, in his heyday, when he was fine, how he had the doggone texturizer in there with the little baby hairs and all of that other stuff. Like, I don't understand why it is that black women are the only ones demonized in this way. And that's the reason why I will forever stand behind black women that choose to wear weaves or wigs, because no one says that to nobody else but us. You would never, as much as black women say, oh, I feel passionately about hair, we need to do this and that and the third. Why are you supposed to be the freedom fighter for hair? Just respectfully, why don't you concern about what's growing out of your own scalp? Because nobody else says this to no one else. White women are out here dyeing their hair blonde because of these stereotypes about blonde hair and blue eyes being the pinnacle of whiteness and being so beautiful. No one says, hey, look at that. Y'all hate yourselves, white heifers. Stop dyeing your hair. No one says that. So I just feel like when we hold black women to a standard that literally no one else is held to, that's anti-black in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. It's anti-black. And I just feel like also, no, I didn't see black women either talking about self-hatred and where it comes to weaves and demonizing weaves and wigs. If y'all want to know a dirty little secret, I didn't see no black women talking about it until black men started talking about it first and using it and weaponizing it against black women. Then I noticed a whole bunch of black women saying, hey, I don't do that. I love my hair. And this, I have no dog in the fight. My hair is out right now in its natural state as I speak. I'm actually going to do a wash day today and blow out my hair. And I don't know if I'm going to do a twist out on it, to twist it up and then let it, or I'm going to silk press it out. I'm really not for sure, but my hair is out in its natural state as we speak. So I don't have a dog in this fight, but all I do is I implore anyone that's listening, think about when you started thinking about that this was such a big problem. Really. Okay, let me go up here to, let me go to supervillain first, and then I'll go back down to you two ladies, Gabrielle and Miss Shalotel.
Real quick. I need a second.
Oh, okay. No problem. All right, then let me go down here to Gabrielle first.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do think you have a point. What you were saying about people of other races don't get the same flack, and I do think that is not right in terms of it only being directed towards BLK women. And again, I'm just speaking for me. I mean, I have over the years, I have seen videos of some BLK women who have worn weaves for so long that it really has, done damage to their hair or led to things like traction alopecia. And like I said, even just my friend who I told you about a few years ago who told me that she verbatim told me that she did not like her hair and she had the exact same hair texture as mine. And I don't know. Again, I promise you, I'm not speaking for every woman who wears a weave or wig, but I have seen some women who wear weaves and wigs just saying terrible things about 4C hair and or even just to me, just being shocked that I would be okay with wearing my hair or not, I mean, I do blow dry my hair, after I wash it and everything. And I use do grow oil and all that stuff, but they were just so shocked that I would be okay with just wearing what goes out in my scalp. I don't know, maybe because so growing up, my mom wore locks and my aunt would get her hair straightened, but it was always her hair. So I don't know, if it's because I didn't grow up around anyone who wore weave. When I was a little girl, I wore braids in middle school. And there's one time where I tried putting yarn in my hair, but then it just dried out my hair. So I didn't do that anymore. But I guess maybe part of it for me is I just don't understand the aversion to 4C hair, the animosity towards 4C hair, even just not even people who are critical, but who are just shocked. Just speaking for me that I would go out somewhere with literally the hair that grows out of my scalp. So I don't know, but that's just kind of what I feel about it. But I mean, I do think what you said earlier is valid and that it shouldn't be BLK women just getting slandered for it.
Hello, Trey, you there?
Oh, I think it's on mute, host. Or
Sorry. I thought, girl, I was over here just to talking. Okay, so what I was gonna say real quick is that I know white tea women that are bald headed because of not exclusive, extensive tape in wearing. Or they're wearing sew-ins and their hair is fine, so they can't hold the weight of the tracks that have been sewn on there. It's like I just feel like everything that we always put on black women, you know what I'm saying, is also prevalent in other races. And that is my thing, is that I just don't like it how oftentimes, and this happens with black men too, but I'm not talking about black men, but that the things that we do somehow are demonized and it makes us the worst of the worst, and everybody has to talk about it and have a discourse around it, but nobody literally has discourse around it for anyone else. So it's just like, I just feel like at the end of the day, black women are police for everything. So it's like, why would you add to it by trying to tell somebody how to wear their hair? I just think that's really weird. And as I said before, when people talk about why you don't wear your natural hair, why you don't wear your natural hair, why do you have it braided up under weaves and wigs? I think that is, in my opinion, as a hairstylist, you know what I'm saying? I just do my kids' hair at this point. But like I said, I did hair for years and years and years and years. Even did hair for hair competitions and all of that. Was really super duper into hair. Black hair, that was my main people. So that was like 85% of my clientele, just so everyone knows. I just don't understand why people act like they don't understand when it comes to, if you have 4C hair, if your hair is really kinky, tell the truth. It is difficult to do. Now, I'm not saying it can't be done. You know what I'm saying? I do hair. It's my hair is it's a process. You know what I'm saying? Can I do it? Absolutely. Can I? And it doesn't take me all day like some people, because I know what to do. You know, you got to separate your hair into not just sections but subsections. It's easier to my youngest daughter's hair is to her waist, past her waist. Her hair is very kinky though. She doesn't like for me to do her hair. She's tender headed. So, man, I do this girl's hair not frequently. I give her 2-strand twists. I blow it out, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll straighten it, see where it's at, clip it, and then it reverts right back, and then I twist it up. But yes, it is difficult for a process for her to do her hair. I wish that we would be honest about that. That's the thing that I would appreciate the most, is stop acting like to do 4C hair is to be like your wife with that stringy, fur that they have, and it's easy to just go boom, wash it, boom, 2 seconds is dry. Like, it's not. So that could be why, but I just feel like it's all just rooted in shaming black women. And even though I'm not an extensive weave, or I haven't had a sew-in, man, since I was in hair school. One of my friends in hair school gave me a sew-in. That was I don't know. It was over a decade ago. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not. It's not like this. That's what I'm doing. But I don't know. I just feel some type of way about it. I just think it's gross a little bit. But let me go up here to Jalotam. She has something to say, and then I'll get to the ladies. I'll shut up so you guys can speak your own perspective.
Yeah, thank you so much. I feel like, again, I think that there's two sides to this whole thing. The first part is, I understand that other races of women do these same things that Black women do, but I don't think I don't know how to say this. It's not a problem, but I think the distinction is the fact that our history plays a lot into it. Our race plays a lot into it. And while I understand like it's a double standard, I just feel like there's more factors or like variables to consider. Like I said, I'm not particularly against weaves and wigs. Like I understand the concept of protective styles. I'm mostly always in braids because I don't like going through wash day. I'll be very honest. I'm not gonna lie, it takes a lot of my time. But I also can't help but feel like, when you're doing, how do you say, in Nigeria, we call it frontals, right? I don't know what Americans call it, the thing where you put the glue on your forehead and like you
Yeah,
kind of,
let's front.
a lace front. Yeah, a lace front. I feel like okay, I don't do lace fronts, but I just feel like the time and energy it takes to do all that, like do the plucking and the gluing and this one and the straightening, it kind of still feels like the same thing if I were to take care of my hair. And there are very low maintenance styles that you could do with kinky hair, or even with if you're gonna go the wig or the weave route, at least like go the kinky weave or wig route. I think my issue is just like trying to pedestalize another hair texture over kinky hair. I think that's where my main problem is. And I say this because apparently in Nigeria, I didn't really have like an adult life in Nigeria. I just started being more exposed when I came here to the States. But in Nigeria, there are places where they don't let you into certain clubs if you have braids. And this is a majority black country. Like you walk out, you hardly see, I can count how many times I've seen white people in Nigeria. So it's just like, I I think we've entered dimensions of this problem where I never thought they would exist. Like this is a country where if you have braids, they look at you like, oh, you're poor. You don't have enough money, because everybody wants to have a quote unquote bust down. So I understand it. And again, I will never support men talking about this. I just feel like it's not in their place to talk about stuff like this. This is something women should talk about amongst ourselves. But I don't know, that's how I feel about. I don't think we should be held to higher standards per se, but I think that the variables are definitely different. And when we start to look down on kinky hair or look down on 4C hair, then that's where the problem comes from. Because ultimately, I feel like that's where all these things come from. And again, okay, I'm sorry, let me just say this one more thing. I think a lot of black men are also very much self-hating. Like you see a lot of them wanting to marry out because they don't like their own hair texture. So part of what they do, in my opinion, comes from projection, because they don't like their hair texture as well. They don't like being dark. They don't like being, unambiguous, and they try to quote unquote soften out their features by maybe marrying out or whatever else they do. So I do think a lot of it comes from projection.
Okay, all right. I got you. I mean, I'll just say, I still feel like even though we're black women, when we have these conversations, I just notice it's still like a lot of the same talking points are used that black men use. So you might as well let black men talk about it, because they are yeah, I mean, some of you guys are saying the same things that they say. I don't see any difference in like what y'all are saying, other than just saying it in a nicer way, than what they would do. Let me go up here to Supervillain and then Gigi.
Yes, good morning.
Good
Uh,
morning.
this is such, and I am outside. I can't stand it, but I had to join this conversation. So please don't mind the background. If anything, I'll try to be short. I know that's kind of annoying when there's a lot going on. This is such a great topic, and I hope we can talk about this more. I first want to start off by saying I absolutely love the 4C queens. I'm myself a 4C queen, specifically a Nigerian hair 4C queen. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So I would just want to shout out to the love for 4C hair and all types of hair, to be honest. I hate to sound like that, all lives matter. But seriously, anybody with hair on their head, and if you don't have hair on your head, love you too. I do want to say that I agree with Trick. It is difficult for a lot of us to deal with our hair because we weren't really brought up to love our hair. We weren't really brought up to know how to do our hair specifically. And for whatever reason, it could be from racism, it could be from it's easier to throw in a certain style, what have you. I definitely want to say that part. I don't think I'm going to say it's 50-50. I think half of it, it's easier to do other styles, especially if you're going for a certain look. And the other half may be coming from self-hate. But one thing when it comes to black women that I don't understand is the judgment part, because black women from the beginning of time have always done things with their hair, right? Before we even knew white tea, people were white tea, we were doing all types of different things with our hair. We maybe weren't perming it, but we were definitely putting stones, diamonds, flowers. I mean, some of us come from a culture where we were putting cow poop or clay in our hair. So one thing black women's gonna do is always gonna do their hair. So I don't ever feel like we need to be concerned with other people's judgment. I know it's hard to say that because we live in the real world, but one thing black women did was always their hair. Now, when it comes specifically to 4C hair, of course, we live in a society now that cherishes white tea proximity. And the furthest thing from white tea proximity is going to be natural hair, 4C hair. Even to a point where our hair was used as a political statement. And I believe, was that the 70s? I'm black and I'm proud. So that also brings in context. People also don't remember, I think it was maybe 6-7 years ago when the Crown Act was passed. We are literally in some workspaces discriminated against for wearing our hair the way it grows out of our scalp. So yes, we can, and I don't want to say shame black women. Yes, we can say, yeah, black women, this is a sign of you not loving your hair. You're not, but nobody brings in the nuance. We're not walking out of here just hating ourselves or, subconsciously not liking to do our natural hair. There's a lot of context that comes into it. I also want to say, me myself, I told you, Trig, I'm sorry, I went over my time. I don't want to headband a wig in a minute. I'll throw on some clip-ins. However, they are textured, right? They look like the blowout style, or they'll look like a crinkly, curly, leave-out, twist-out. I do prefer natural looking hair. I don't care about if it's a weave or not. I do prefer natural textures, but I think at this point, because black women have always done shit with their hair, like, that's something that's not gonna stop happening. Again, we've been doing different wild things with our hair before we even knew white tea people existed. I also want to say black men's involvement. I don't even know what to say to that, because I don't really mess with them. But I do feel like black women, do what you want with your hair, because they're never gonna be satisfied. You're never gonna satisfy everybody, so you might as well do what makes you happy, especially if you are not hurting anyone. I do want to say one thing though, Drake. As a hairstylist, one of those videos I hate is a lady on here who does children's hair. And I can't stand when they try to catch the little beady bees and do cornrows and all these harsh styles, and the baby is like 1 or 2. They hardly have hair on their head, and they're like trying to catch the hair. I think we gotta let our baby's hair grow at least like an inch or two, like little soft twists. I mean, and I don't want to sound judgmental, are okay, but I don't know if you ever see the videos when they try to catch their hair and all that. Those are the ones I can't stand. But anyway, I think I'm going to yield there.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I will definitely say supervillain. I agree with the textured hair. Like if when I do wear a wig or a headband wig or a half wig or something like that, it is textured. I never wear any hair other than textured hair, which is kinky straight, kinky curly, afro, kinky, all of that stuff for sure. So I understand that. But I just wanted to say something really quick here. As far as wigs, right? Because I like when people say that wigs are a form of self-hatred, I be wondering like if people are like, are you aware of the origins of wigs? Wigs originated in ancient Egypt. And I don't know if you're the type of black person that realizes that ancient Egypt was filled with black people, just like us. It wasn't filled with olive colored people. It wasn't filled with the pretenders that are over there, the pretender Egyptians that are over there right now. It was filled with the most melanated, intelligent black people, darkly, deeply melanated black people. So once we got that on track, right? Wigs originated in ancient Egypt around 3400 BC. So there are a whole bunch of pictures of wigs that you can see that they got off of mummies and things of that nature. So wigs did not originate with any type of self-hatred for black people. And it is definitely rooted, like I said before, the whole demonization of wigs and weaves and sew-ins and all of these things is really because people want to make black women feel bad and make them feel that they have no originality or they cannot do things that are original to them. Because even when we talk about self-hatred, like what are we really talking about? Because It's not like, even if someone wears a silky wig, like I said before, I only wear textured hair, but if you do, it never is styled the way white women wear their hair. It's never looking like the way white women do it, the way Asian women do it, the way Indian women do it. It's never the same. It always looks like us. So I really just, like I said, I don't understand it. I just think that if we could have honest conversations about what it takes to do 4C hair versus, and also, you know what another dynamic is that some people's hair grows best put up, especially 4C hair, because if to get technical on it as a cosmetologist, when you have 4C hair, when your hair is super kinky, which means it doesn't have the curl where the hair can go all the way down, is zigzagged out. That's what 4C hair is the most, if you have the most kinky, because there's different types of 4C hair. It makes moisture difficult to penetrate through the entire hair follicle. That it's difficult, which is why sometimes people with 4C hair and different textures of hair, their hair actually does grow when it is put up, not out in its natural state. So I mean, like if it's braided up underneath something, or it's braided in braids or whatever, that enables more of the moisture on the scalp, the sebum, to be able to penetrate through the hair. So I mean, I think that, and then, you know, relaxers are demonized, which of course we know that relaxers contain unhealthy chemicals. However, there are some people, their hair grows better when it is relaxed. And the reason why is not because of like loving white people or anything like that. It's because that moisture is able to go all the way down the strand of the hair, which is why there are several people that I see here on TikTok that have relaxed hair and their hair is extremely long. And even with me, when I used to relax my hair before I did the big chop many years ago, my hair also really grew really, really, really good with, you know, having a relaxer. But now I just don't like the texture of having relaxed hair. And I don't like how when it grows back, you know, you get those roots and it's a separation of texture. I think that I don't like how that feels. I like to just feel all kink, you know what I'm saying? Or all relaxed. In between, I don't like that. But all I'm saying is that, and for me now, the best way for me to keep, to have length retention is to have it braided up, you know, for the most part. So I think if we have these conversation, of these different nuances of actually knowing about hair texture, it will make these conversations easier. But anyway, let me shut up. Let me keep going. Go ahead, Gigi.
Good morning, ladies. Thank
Good
you
morning.
for having me on. I wanted to touch on 5, 2, and 6, and you ladies brought up so many good points that I think goes overlooked when we have these conversations. So for number 5, I agree with Supervillain. I think it's like 50-50, but now I think it's more like 60-40 in terms of it's not self-hatred. I think it depends on the time period you grew up in and also where in America you grew up in. So speaking for myself, growing up in Texas, I was born in 93. I know that my mother and my grandmother, they would straighten their hair, and it was more for assimilation and for like survival. Trying to, when you go on a job interview, my mom would straighten her hair, make sure she get her hair done for that job interview. My grandmother would always say, why aren't you straightening your hair? Why aren't you, just cementing these ideas that straightened hair means you're going to have more success in this white supremacist town. And I'm from Dallas. So Dallas is pretty pretentious. White supremacy is ran rampant over there. And I remember being in high school, being a junior in high school, telling my mom, I'm not getting a perm anymore. I can't do it. My hair is falling out. I'm not doing it. And that was like a big deal. And it was a ripple effect. Once my mom saw me, she was like, are you sure? And I said, I'm not doing it. I'm going to figure it out. And that was the time when YouTube was starting to blow up as well. And I saw more Black women on YouTube talking about their hair care journey, saying, I'm going to figure out how to do my hair and I want you guys to be there with me on a journey. I'm going to try these products. And so when I started doing that, my mom was like, I'm not doing it either. And when my grandma saw that my mom wasn't doing it, and my grandma had very long hair and she was straight, and it was like a big deal. My grandfather and grandmother were like to my mom, you must be out of your mind if you are not going to straighten your hair. And when my mom started doing it, my grandma stopped doing it. So I think it comes with education. And in terms of like point number, I think I said point number 2 and 6, I think our psychology is never considered in a conversation. It's like, okay, if these black women do have self hatred, let's look at the why. Maybe it's because little black girls are growing up in a white supremacist society where they're told constantly by everybody, including black men, your hair is too nappy. Why don't you get your hair done? And getting your hair done could mean braids, it could mean being straightened and all that. But if you wanted to wear a twist out or some type of natural style where your hair didn't look obviously manipulated, you're told that your hair is not done. Or it's that fear of, if I go on this job interview or go in a professional setting and my hair is not looking a certain way, will I be deemed professional? And Supervillain, you touched on the Crown Act. Sorry, I know my time's up, but our psychology is never considered a part of the conversation. Those nuances that Supervillain spoke about are never considered. For point number 6, with all the problems black women have, to speak to why are black men concerned about our hair, I think Gabrielle brought up they are dealing with their own self-hatred. They want to get rid of that kinky hair, so they try to pre-engineer their children by being selective of the women they date, so non-black women, because they want their daughters to come out looking like their preferences. They want their daughters to look like the woman that they want to have sex schmex with, basically. I think that's another topic, and there's some deep psychology there, but yeah, I definitely think black men look at non-ambiguous, especially if you're a dark-skinned black woman, they look at black women and they look at their hair and they just feel this anger of, she's really proud to wear her hair like that. And they don't feel that way about themselves. So they want black women to feel that way. Not all of them, but some of them. But yeah, I'll yield there because I'm over time.
All right. I got you. And I just wanted to remind you guys that Method Man, who a lot of black women find to be very attractive. I do not. He's not my cup of tea, but I know a lot of black women like him. He did say many years ago that he doesn't like black women with peasy afros. Just so y'all know. He said that. So let me keep going up there. And if you don't believe me, please look it up. You can take your phone right now and hit Google and look up Method Man peasy afro, and you will find where he said that. So he definitely said it. It's common knowledge. And I think he said it on a radio show. So you might even be able to get the audio. So just know that Method Man does not like 4C hair. For everyone that is uplifting 4C hair today, which is not a problem. Of course, 4C hair should be uplifted. But I'm just saying. Let me go up here to keeping God first. You there, sis?
Sorry, I didn't want to show my face, but
Oh, you don't have to.
I'm trying to my car. Y'all don't judge me. Okay, I'm trying to get this off. Okay, here we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I work in corporate America, and I work predominantly around like a lot of white people, but I'm the only black woman there with natural hair, and I've been natural since I got out of high school. I've been natural, natural 4C hair over 20 years. So, I wear my twist outs and just all natural hairstyles. I don't really wear weave or anything. I've never been into weave, and I don't judge women that wear weave. I just don't wear weave. So, but nobody ever at the job, nobody ever says my hair looks nice. Like, I might get maybe a black person every now and again that might say, oh, your hair looks, and I don't need for other people to say my hair looks nice because I'm comfortable with it myself. But it's just so funny when it comes to other women, like the white girls or the Latino chicks, they're sitting around talking about, oh, and I think they do it on purpose. Like some white girls will come around me and start, manipulating their hair and brushing their hair. And I'm really comfortable with my afro. I'm comfortable but they don't like it in corporate America. But, there's nothing they really can say. But I just be like, oh my God, they never say anything about my hair. They talk about their hair and they talk about other women's hair and they never say nothing about, oh my God, I like your hair today. Never. Because I know that it's not, naturally accepted, and that's fine. But I know they also think on the other hand, oh my God, I'm so proud of her that she's able to come out here with her natural curls and just not care what people think. So that's all I had to say.
All right. I got you. Appreciate you keeping. I did want to say this though. And I know you guys might be thinking hey, she's, pushing aside of like, black women that know black women have self-hatred if they don't like their natural hair or whatever. I'm not saying that I don't know that it's black women that don't like their hair. Okay. I just want y'all to be clear with that. I remember when I was at my congregation, I think I was about 13. And it was this girl, she was a lot older than me. She was like 25, 26. And she was saying how she had two biracial children. And that's because she didn't want them to have no nappy hair like her. And that she wanted them to be pretty and light skinned. And I remember at 13, I was flabbergasted. I told her, I said, what you mean? I said, ain't nothing wrong with your skin. But that's because my parents they had put in a very high racial self-esteem within me. My father was in the Black Student Union when he was in college and a whole host of other things. So I was, raised differently. But I remember being flabbergasted. So I'm not saying I don't know that some black women, have self-hatred, but I think that more often of even in the arena of where you would say a woman that's wearing a weave is full of self-hatred, I think a lot of times out of that percentage, it's not some of that, even at least half of that isn't self-hatred. It's actually male-centeredness, because there are a lot of black women that still want to be with black men, and black men, even though they shame black women for their hair, which this only to abuse black women. It's not because they really want black women to love themselves or love their hair. It's actually because they just want to put black women down. But I think that a lot of black women choose silky hair or weaves or wigs and things like that because they know they will not attract black men wearing their natural hair in its natural state. Like when you got 4C hair, it's if you got a small fro and it's all shrunken up, you're not doing anything to it. A lot of black men won't even approach you and won't even look at you when you have your hair that way. And so a lot of black women say, hey, you know what? Wow, I'm not getting no holla with this puff ball. Or with, my hair in this small fro or whatever. So they decide to do something else. And it's not that there's anything wrong with a puff at all. I'm just saying that's what these black women are thinking. And I just wanted to give you guys the exact quote of what Method Man said about hair. Cause I want y'all to really hear it, because once I looked it up while Keepin was talking, it's even worse than I thought. Okay, so here it is, a quote, the phrase Peasy Afro is a quote from a 2011 interview where the rapper Method Man responded negatively to a question about liking natural hairstyles. When asked if he liked women with natural hair, he said, no, I don't like peasy afros. Sorry. I don't like dreads either. I prefer for women to have their hair did. Now, that encompassed everything that everybody said. I think Gabrielle mentioned people saying that your hair is not done if it's in its natural state. This is what I'm talking about. So if you have a man like Method Man who black women lust after, like I said, I don't know why. I've seen way finer, but whatever. What will you do if you are a black woman that is male-centered, which at least 50% of black women are male-centered, and you want these black men to pay attention to you? What are you going to do? You're not going to be wearing 4C hair. You're not going to wear your afro. You're not going to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to get that hair braided. You're going to get those Malaysian bundles installed with leave out or with the lace closure or with the lace frontal, or you're going to get that wig and lay that wig down. That's what you're going to do if you're trying to get these black men. So that's all I'm saying, y'all, because I like to give y'all some type of facts and things where y'all can tangibly see it, so y'all don't have to take my word for it. Okay. So, and I read this straight off of Google to you guys. This isn't me taking it out of context. I read it exactly how it is off of Google. And if you don't believe me, look it up yourself on google.com. All right, let me go down here to Gabrielle. Go ahead, Gabrielle. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's kind of sad what you said about like the fact that like the BOK men not liking 4C hair, and because of that, like some women choose to get weaves. Like again, I promise I'm only speaking for me. I don't understand the idea of like changing, like what is yours. Like if you are let's say you're comfortable with your hair, but a guy is not, doesn't prefer it or whatever, like changing that just to get a guy. Like I don't understand that. And again, like I said, growing up, I was never exposed to that. My mom, like I said, she wore locks.
Girl, women change who they are to get men. They go get saline sacks of a fluid that may cause them problems down the line, put underneath their chest walls. You know what I'm saying? Women go risk their life and get liposuction to suck it out from their gut to put it in their booties for men. Like, like that, women are do everything to possibly get men, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's like risking death to get that kind of plastic surgery. So
I
mean,
know. So you know they gonna risk wearing a weave then. A weave is the least risky thing.
yeah, no, you're right. I guess for me, it's just like I have just seen on the internet and then in real life, like people, like I said, making derogatory comments about 4C hair. Some of the women who I have seen make derogatory comments about 4C hair did have weaves or extensions. So it's like between seeing the damage that has come from weave that has been in I guess installed for a long time with, like I said, like traction alopecia or like the thinning of the edges or what have you, just stuff like that. And then even people who have like spoken to me and they haven't even been derogatory about 4C hair, but they were just genuinely astounded at me wearing 4C hair. You know, like it was like they were just shocked by it. Like there was nothing about them, you know, trying to demean it in that particular case, but there was just like a surprise to it. And then, like I said earlier, like my old friend who told me that she did not like her 4C hair. It's just like those four things combined, just the way that a lot of people have talked about 4C hair on TikTok. A few weeks ago, I came across this woman. I think she had like more 3C hair, but she openly said, if I had 4C hair, I would not wear it. And I just feel like a lot of it's like at the end of the day, any woman can do whatever she wants to do with her hair, whether it's natural 4C, 3C, wig, weave, whatever. But I think when there's an extreme hostility against 4C hair, when someone is like shocked that someone else would wear 4C hair and they have 4C hair, or when, you know, someone is like, oh, if you have 4C hair, that means your hair isn't done. You need to cover that up, or you need to, you know, do something to the fact that 4C hair that is taken care of and groomed, that the fact that that is undone, the fact that hair in its natural state is seen as undone by the default, to me, that just does kind of seem like self-hate in those particular cases. But I mean, obviously that's not going to be true across the board.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the reason why I gave you guys the Method Man example is because I think it's a little harsh to judge Black women for a system that they had no part in creating. As I said, a lot of Black women are male-centered. So because Black men don't accept natural hair, they don't. I'm not saying that there aren't any Black men that accept natural hair. My husband doesn't mind. You know what I'm saying? Not that it would matter if he did or not, but I'm just saying he doesn't care. He's never been the type of person that cares about that. You can wear it natural, you can do whatever. He don't care as long as I'm happy. But I will say, when you add that the complexity of Black men shaming Black women for having kinky hair, dare I say nappy hair, because I don't think nappy is a bad word. Even I don't think white people should be saying it, but other than that, I don't think it's a bad word. You have white people that have demonized Black women's hair because they were jealous that Black women's hair was growing out up into the sun and their hair was all greasy and droopy down. Like, so I think that when we think about these things, also when we think about that it is more effort and it is more work to do 4C hair. It is. And people are lazy. Okay. People might have jobs. Then people may feel like if they have their hair out, they won't get a certain type of position in a corporate company, because it's plenty of Black women who I did weaves and sew-ins on that love their natural hair, but they had to wear weaves because their job wasn't going to allow them. I had one woman that was a CFO for some company. I forgot what it was. And I gave her a weave every 6 weeks because she said they told her, hey, you don't come in here with that natural hair. So I think that a lot of it is we're not looking at why, and we're just demonizing Black women for it or saying something bad. And just me, I just feel like because Black women aren't able to express themselves without judgment, I always feel weird about talking about Black women's hair and just attributing it to self-hatred, because once again, we are the only ones that have these self-hatred conversations. Like I said earlier, nobody talks to white women about dyeing their hair blonde. And I'm just about to tell y'all right now so that I can give y'all the right percentage. What percentage of blonde hair is in the world? Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys right now. So yes, approximately 2% of the world's population has naturally blonde hair. It is a rare hair color. So once again, nobody's talking to white women about self-hatred. Okay, that they're trying to go to this white, blonde hair, blue eyes stereotype. Nobody says that. And so I just have a problem with having discussions where we critique black women for doing something that literally nobody else is critiqued for. I think that is, I still feel some type of way about that because no one ever talked about this until black men started doing it. And I stand by that. I never saw black women shaming other black women for wearing weaves or even calling yourself hatred until respectfully niggas started doing it. And that's what I have a problem with the most. Why are we doing this? Black men aren't getting talked about for it. Black men, nobody talking about black men about how they cut all their hair off. That's self-hatred. All of them talking about it, they go into the barber and anyway, let me just keep going. I'm gonna go here to Supervillain real quick, and then I'm gonna go up to Rima, and then I'll go back in the regular line. Go ahead, Supervillain.
I actually think you brought up some great points, Trick. I was even thinking about that while you were speaking because every group of women have something they're insecure about. For black women, it may be our hair. White tea women, it's their weight. Like Asian women, it'd be their eyes. Like every single group of women have something that they are insecure about. That's a woman thing. But for some reason, our insecurity is demonized when ours is literally the most, I'm going to say, non-permanent, right, issue. Especially when you brought up the plastic surgery. I mean, let's just be for real. Everyone gets plastic surgery, but most people are getting plastic surgery to do the black woman aesthetic. So I also, I just made me think about it. Like why are we always getting such slack? Our shit is less permanent than women who are literally risking their lives to copy our aesthetic. I also wanted to say, as someone who does natural styles on myself, I'm a kitchen beautician. I'm not a professional, but I do other people's hair in neighborhood, mine, family members. My favorite style is a juicy twist out. A juicy two-strand twist. I love the two-strand twist. And oftentimes I remember people saying, that's a little girl hairstyle. Even when we want to wear our hair, we're being made fun of saying, oh, that's a juvenile hairstyle. That's not a grown woman's hairstyle and crazy stuff like that. I also want to point out when men do these our counterparts do these very same hairstyles, do you notice they don't get the vitriol? We, like you said, met the man doesn't like a woman with locks, but we love a king with some locks down his back. We love a king with an afro. We love a king with some cornrows in his hair and then a nice shape up. So I'm trying to see, it is specifically directed to black women. It's not a black man thing because what vitriol do black men get from black women about wearing their natural hair? None. Or shaving their head off? None. That is something specifically meant to, yes, harm and use against black women. Now that I'm noticing that now that you're talking about it. So I just want to bring that into play because these same very hairstyles we love on a black king. But for some reason, it's ugly on us. And I just wanted to say, black women hair can grow. If you see women with locks hairs grow so fast. My daughter even had locks for 3 years. And her hair went past her bra strap after doing a TWA. So much so that we combed it out because she wanted to see her fro. And then it has never passed that since then. I'm not going to lie. I think it's because of the breakage. And I have to learn more about it. But when black women hair grows, you see a lot of black women with hair, even when they wear weave, when they take their take their hair down in the salon, they have this huge, big puff ball. So I just want to throw that out as well. Thank you.
Okay, all right. I appreciate you, Supervillain. And I just wanted to say two things really quickly. You made a great point when you talked about Asian women and their eyes and stuff like that. I just wanted to give this in perspective. This is underneath the query, how common is double eyelid surgery in Asia? East Asian blepharoplasty has been reported to be the most common aesthetic procedure in Taiwan, South Korea, and other parts of East Asia, and is also frequently performed in Northeast Indian states such as Assam. So I just want y'all to know that when we're talking about self-hatred and we make it like black women are these unusual people that are doing something, like I said, why aren't Asian people talking about this? Why aren't they talking about the fact that their women are out there going under anesthesia to get their eyelids hacked off so that they can look more European? Because that's what it is. That's the biggest form of self-hatred that you could think of. But we want to talk about black women because the black women say, I don't feel like wearing my hair out. Like, that's what I don't like. It would be different if I saw these conversations happen in other communities. And I told you, I specifically make sure that I go in other community spaces to see the conversations that they have. And I will tell you, I've seen them have a lot of conversations, but I have not seen them have conversations where they say things like this is self-hatred. I never seen white people talk about white women wearing clip-ins and being bald-headed. And I've done so many clip-ins, man, and extensions on white women that hair is thin as a piece of paper, and they know that stuff is thinning out their hair, and they keep on doing it because they bald-headed and they don't want to be bald-headed. I just really want to say that that's the issue that I have. So if anybody feels anything for me, is that I don't like it when we do something to black women that literally nobody else does to anyone else. In my opinion, that is a form of anti-blackness. It's a form of misogynoir because nobody else is talking to nobody about this except for us. And that is a problem, to me. And also, I wanted to respond to a question about hair because people were talking about hair in the comments, like long hair. I just want y'all to know, long hair is romanticized in literally every demographic of people. Everyone. I didn't see videos because, like I said, I used to do hair. So I follow a lot of hair pages, look at a lot of hair stuff. Women freaking out, tweaking about getting a couple inches off their hair when their hair is already down to their booty. That is just what it is, because some people equate length and long hair to femininity. You shouldn't, but that's what some people do. And that is prevalent across all cultures. It's not just black people. And at the end of the day, that's the reason why there are a lot of white women that are bald-headed, just like two of the chicks in Love is Blind that's currently going on right now got clip-ins all up in their head. They bald-headed. But why they want to look beautiful? We're not calling these white women self-hating because they just feel like they want to look pretty. And the same thing goes with black women too. So we gotta you know what I'm saying? Like, not just put everything onto black women that everyone else is literally doing. That's all I'm saying. But let me go up here to Rima, and then I'll go down here to Chilotem and then Keeping.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning. I have three things. Oh, well, number one, I wanted to talk to the person in the comments that were saying that they feel like black women don't get criticized for wearing blonde weave or blonde hair or something like that. I want to kindly disagree with that. I've seen white people, even some black people, say that, those black women are trying to be white, or, they're ghetto, even if they wear green, blue, or red wigs or something like that. I just feel like, especially if it's a dark-skinned woman, they're deemed as ghetto for some reason for wearing different colored hair. But blonde hair especially, I do think black women do get criticized for it. Well, especially dark-skinned women. But, we can agree to disagree. And then the second thing is, I do find it weird that men, especially black men, compare their hair length to women. I do have locks now. They are bob length, or almost shoulder length, but they are considered shorter. So what I was saying in the comments was that I did have some men, I don't know if they were being funny, they would address me as a boy or a man. I'm like, I don't think I look masculine in the face, and I don't think that my voice is masculine. So it's just the fact that you're looking at me and you're saying, yeah, man, or what's up, bro? And it's just like, I don't know. I don't like that. But short hair could be considered masculine, especially with black women. Like, I guess you're not considered a woman just because your hair is shorter. But I do find it weird that some black men, look, my hair longer than yours. Like, that's one of the few first things that they say whenever you're in an argument with them. If they see you have shorter hair or afro, first thing they say is that your hair is nappy. Especially if the men have locks down to their back, or if they have long braids. So I just thought that was a little weird with black men that compare themselves to women. And the third thing was that I've said before, when I was up here before, my hair is 4C textured. So my sister and my brother, they have a different dad, but the same mom. Their genetics, they have longer hair and like finer hair. So I would say their hair was like 4A, maybe 3C. And their hair is very long compared to mine. My dad is bald. So of course I didn't get that gene for where my hair seemed as if it's growing or it has that finer texture hair. So I was always compared to them, saying that, they have good hair, especially coming from other family members. That good hair term was always used, especially with my sister, because she always wore her hair in a straight form rather than a afro. So her hair, you can see how long it is. And she has really nice, beautiful hair, but that's where that hair insecurity came from. So sometimes when people say you need to love yourself, well, as a little girl, I've always been compared to my sister, especially my brother, because he has locks as well, and his is longer than mine. So I just didn't like that, getting compared to a man and how long his hair is, and, to my sister's hair texture. They said she had good hair and I don't have good hair. Good hair. And that's all I wanted to add.
All right, I got you, Rima. All right, let me go up here to, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to Trice, and then I'll go down there to Chilotam, I think, and then Keeping It. Go ahead, Trice.
Good morning, everybody. And
Morning.
good morning. Thank you for allowing me to come up. I just want to, just been so many points this morning, and I just want to touch on a few of them. First of all, I just want to say, however a woman chooses to wear her hair is a personal choice. And Black people as a whole, we're just creative people. And most Black women, not all, I'm saying a lot, use their crown as their canvas. They express themselves and their creativity by any manner in which they choose to wear their hair. I've heard white people say before, oh, you wear your hair in a different style every day, blah, blah, blah. Not to me, because I'm pretty much the same, but to other women around me and Black people around me, oh, you wear your hair in a different style every day. Okay, yeah, she can do that. Some people are creative like that, and most Black people are. The other thing I want to touch on is somebody said something about good hair, and I guess versus bad hair. To me, if it grows out your scalp, if you can grow it, it's good. I don't care what texture it is. If it grows, it's good. And as far as Black men being so concerned about Black women's hair, to me, for a man to take that much interest in a Black woman's hair, I think that's kind of sassy. I just do. I have a grown son, and he said to me once, just one time, and it wasn't about how I wore my hair. It was about the chemical that I was putting in my hair to relax her. And this was probably 2012, 2013. He said to me, Mom, you need to stop putting that chemical on your head. And I was like, what? Boy, mind your business. And he said, I'm just saying. He reads a lot. And he knew before I knew. So I think it was 2013. I went natural. I did the big chop, cut everything off. And his girlfriend, she walked me through YouTube videos with, women teaching you, because I had to relearn how to take care of my hair. And thank God for her. I mean, because, my son wasn't into it like that because, he don't follow. But she told me about it, about the YouTube videos, and I really learned how to take care of my hair. Anyway, I did the big chop. I was wearing an afro for a little bit. I went to work. When I first went to work with the afro, white guy on my job said to me, he said, what did you do to your hair? And I said, I stopped relaxing it. And he said, well, I'm not relaxed right now. I said, I didn't think you would be. I didn't expect you to be. It's not for you. I didn't expect you to understand. You're more comfortable with me walking around here looking like you. So this is not for you. And then he was just like, oh, well. And then so many, because I worked in a male predominant field, and it was white male predominant. And there was another Black girl who worked there. She came up to me, running up to me, and she's like, are you hearing what they're saying about your hair? I said, girl, I don't care what they're saying about my hair. And she said, I know. She goes, but it's bothering me and I'm getting upset. I said, let it roll off your back like a duck, because they don't understand. Brainwashing is real. And when you do something that people aren't used to, they get uncomfortable. So I told her, I said, just let it. I said, because that's what I'm doing, letting it roll off my back like a duck. I don't care. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to point on is the word nappy. I know you said, host, you're triggered. I know you said that, you don't feel like that's a bad word. I just feel like that word as
Well, I
well.
mean, let me just preface that by saying I feel like it's like, to me, I feel like it's like nigga. Like, I don't mind if a black person says nigga or nappy. Now, if someone else says it, then that's a whole nother conversation. So let me just preface it with that.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But I feel like all of that is white racist words. And I just don't feel like we should adopt it. You know what I mean? Because that's like a form of accepting abuse. You know what I mean? That's an abusive word. So is the N word. And the same as the locks, right? They felt that was dreadful. So they called it dreadlocks. And
I'll give you one more minute, sis. I'll add you another
okay.
minute.
They have something to do. They have something to say about whatever we do. And I just want to say this real quick for the ladies that choose to wear their hair. However, don't worry about what men are going to say, because no matter what you do, if they're sassy, they're going to have something to say. If they don't like black women, they're going to have something to say. Like you said, Method Man said that he doesn't like women who wear their hair natural or 4C or PZ or whatever. To me, that says he doesn't like black women, because that's how it grows out. If it grows out of our hair like that, out of our scalp like that, that's how it grows. And if you alter it, they're gonna have a problem with that too. Oh, I don't like you wearing a weave. Oh, I don't like you wearing your hair relaxed. I don't like this. I don't like that. They don't like black women. Point blank. Period. I land my plane. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. I got you. I got you. I appreciate you. I met the man. He has a black wife. I would just say that he probably, wants her to wear a weave or whatever. And it's a lot of black men like that, that, want you to wear, like, they do want you to wear weaves. They do want you to wear wigs and sew-ins and things of that nature. As far as what you said about like, nappy isn't a word that I use often, if I want to be real with you, but I don't find anything wrong with it. I think that when it comes to white people, if you take the power away from what they're saying, you know what I'm saying, then there's no power in it. When you take it from white people, because white people get off of your response to their disrespect. I just saw a video of a white man at Popeyes. It was nothing but black people working in there. He was mad at them about something. I don't know. He kept calling them the N-word with the hard R on it. And the black people were not giving him any type of energy. They was just laughing. And then the white man was like, yeah, y'all are N-words, y'all are N-words, call the police. And so the black manager, he was like, you think I won't? And he just started laughing and turned away to call the police. And so another young black woman came up there and she was like, yeah, whatever, you keep calling us, the N-word or whatever, but you're a cracker. You're a cracker. And he just kept saying the N-word, and all she kept saying was cracker, cracker, and, calling them fat and insulting them and all this. And he was just going crazy because his trump card, the N-word that he thought was going to have so much power over these black people and they were just going to explode and combust, it didn't work. So I just feel like with white people, you got to, the best thing for you to do with them is take whatever words they use against you, you withdraw, you take the power away from it. And then the other thing is to ignore them and not pay them dust. That's exactly why I don't engage with white people any longer. Back in the day, I used to debate with white people, give them crime stats, talk about the black community, this, that, and the third, go back and forth with racist white people. People think that I hate white people. It's not that. This is the best way to handle white people, is to starve them out and to completely ignore them, which is why I don't engage with them on panels. I don't talk to them about nothing. I don't ask for their opinion. Like it was two white ladies in the chat that just came there and said, there's a white woman this. I just blocked them in this chat right now because what are you talking about? I don't have nothing to do with them at all. So that's just a side note. I know that don't really got nothing to do with hair, but honestly, if as a black person you want to move in spaces with them, the best way to do it is to give them as little of your energy as possible. And anything that they weaponize against you, never take it to heart. Because why in the world would you ever take something seriously to people that don't believe in washing their hands when they go to the bathroom, that don't believe in washing their legs and feet and back in the shower? Why would you ever respect people that have intercourse with animals, the demographic of people that are responsible for the reason why STDs are in the world because they could not keep their hands off of animals? Like, that's the reason why chlamydia and all these other diseases are running around here, because they couldn't keep their private parts out of animals. Like, so me personally, it's just like, ew. I don't even want to talk about it. I always question black people that even want to engage with them in any way, because it's just like, why would you be dealing with them? Like, you could deal with so many other people, but them, what's wrong with you? Like, honestly, I'd be silently judging, but no disrespect. I went too far. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. I apologize. Let me go over here to Chilotam. Go ahead, Chilotam. And then I think Supervillain has something to say.
Yeah, thanks again. In on the topic of men speaking on our hair, I feel like it's a situation where you know how maybe if you're having issues with your sibling, you don't want someone else to come talk crazy to your sibling, even if that person is defending you. That's how I feel when men talk about our hair. I just feel like it's not your business. And even if they make great points, I would never agree with them publicly. I would never say, "Oh yeah, no, I agree with him." Absolutely not. It's not in your place to, talk about something that's so sensitive, especially because they often talk about it without nuance. They don't consider history. They don't consider the present, because sometimes we say history, but these things are still happening today. Um, so I just feel like I don't take their opinions seriously in general. I feel like another aspect of this conversation that bothers me a little bit is the ethics around sourcing for these hairs. Sometimes they come from poor women in Asian countries. I don't know how I feel about that. It just disturbs my spirit on some level. And in as much as some of these women give out their hairs willingly, I just feel like it's kind of exploitative. Yeah. I saw a video of this lady. This is a Nigerian hair vendor. And this is a very huge problem in African countries, right? This lady went to an Asian country. I think she was in Vietnam, and she cut this girl's hair. This was a young girl. This wasn't even like she don't think she was up to 20 years old. And she cut her hair, and she was like, "Oh yeah, thank you for letting me cut your hair." I felt really disturbed in my spirits watching that video. So that's that. That's one aspect of it. Another thing is I don't like the representation that Black women have, for instance, in modeling, and how you have the white tea models and they have long hair, and I'm a huge proponent of long hair. Okay, I think long hair is beautiful. A lot of women think this way. It's not a black thing. But I just don't, when you juxtapose the white tea models with the black ones, you just see the stark difference with how they kind of present the dark-skinned models. Sometimes they shave off their heads. I'm not against women shaving off their heads willingly, but it, there's something that they do that feels sinister. It kind of feels like they are trying to use them as, I don't know if to call it a specimen or like an object, but I just don't like how black or dark skin models are treated in the modeling industry. So I think that's another aspect to it. And in my opinion, I think the way forward would be to first of all educate the young girls who are growing up, teach them to love their hair, and like actually have more representation of textured hair so that people know that this is normal for you to have kinky textured hair. Like if you have kinky textured hair, you check the hair in your pubic areas, they grow the same way. It's kind of the same texture. You know what I mean? So I don't mean to be so graphic, but there's no other way for me to paints the picture in such a way that yeah, like this should be the norm, this is what is common amongst black people, and that's how I think we can move the needle forward. Thanks.
All right. I got you, Chilotam. I understand where you're coming from. Let me go up here to Supervillain. You have something to say, sis?
Yes, I had a couple thoughts. I'm gonna try to wrap it up because I gotta get out of here. I first want to say I want to piggyback off what Chila Tim was saying with the starting with the youth. Just like I think we need to do a big anti-pick-me self-love campaign, we definitely need to do a huge loving our hair and just education about our hair campaign. A lot of us, we just don't know how to do our hair, and that's one of the biggest issues as well. I don't know if you remember that video that went viral about the woman. She was doing the little beautiful dark skinned girl's hair. I think she had like locks or something. She had 4C hair. And I guess when she was combing it, it gave that child PTSD because the child started saying, "I'm ugly." Do y'all remember that video? It came
Yes.
out like, yes. And you can tell it's PTSD. Maybe somebody who was doing her hair before was like, saying derogatory things while she was doing her hair, and she just came out, and then the beautician was just hugging her and affirming her and things like that. We need to do that because I'm not saying there's a boogeyman going around to little girls with 4C hair telling them that their hair is ugly. But when we have conversations, especially the men, when their daughter is in the room, they don't realize that we think kids are dumb. They internalize stuff like that. They hear this stuff and they carry it with them. Perfect example, I remember being on a live and this man was ranting and raving, and I don't even know why I stayed on the live, but he was just ranting and raving about how much he doesn't like black women, dark skinned women, they hear this and that. Do you know his daughter in the background said, "But daddy, I have those things." And you know what he turned around and said? "Oh, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the other women." And then he went back to ranting and raving. He didn't even take a second and realize that the shit that he was saying was affecting his daughter. The craziest part is everything he described his daughter, young, she probably was like fourth grade around, it sounded like, internalized and realized the things that he was saying was a reflection of her or maybe her mother. He didn't even stop. The vitriol for black women was so bad. He had to get it off his chest. He didn't even stop and acknowledge that he is traumatizing his daughter. And I just bring that point up because and of course this is my own anecdotal experience, but I just remember growing up and like going to cousin's house and getting our hair done, and our male counterparts, cousins, brothers and stuff being there and helping. Sometimes you take your hair down or helping with parting the hair or do some way helping or being involved or experiencing black girls getting their hair done. So to me, when I hear these men have this vitriol against hair, whatever it is, however natural or weave, I think, did they not grow up with black women and girls in their life? It's so weird to me where they get this vitriol because one thing, my brothers have 4 sisters. There is no way I could ever catch them on this app talking about they don't like natural hair, they don't like wigs and makeup. Not growing up with 4 sisters and helping them take their hair out and doing their hair. So that's a big thing about it. I know we shouldn't care about what men think, obviously, but we have to recognize that's a big part of it too. That is a huge part of it, especially when we're on this app and kids have more access to this app. Could you imagine being a little 7-year-old girl and running into a live where black men are talking about black women? So I just want to bring that part as well because I think it's very important. I'm gonna end by saying this: we gotta push for the education and the love of our hair. I think it's okay to push for loving 4C hair, but also acknowledging that we can do our hair however we want. We've been doing that before white tea people wore white tea. So you know what I mean? It's not always from self-hatred. Sometimes, a lot of the time, it's expression of self. We've always done our hair. I just want to say to the black women out there, again, if you feel that little tingle in your heart, that's me giving you a hug. Affirm that little black girl today. Validate her. Do something fun for her. Sure, this was a great conversation. I hope we can have some more, maybe even some education, being that you're a hairstylist. I don't want to cause you no extra work or labor, but I think a good, maybe taking care of our hair segment would be a great idea. But other than that, I hope y'all have a good day. I'm a there.
All right, all right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, super villain. I'm gonna go down here to Miss Gabrielle, and then I'm gonna wrap it up because y'all I got things I gotta do today. Go ahead, Gabrielle. I said I was only gonna do an hour. I'm already past an hour. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, this was a great live, and I definitely agree with Supervillain and Chilo Tam about, teaching young BOK girls to love their hair and feel comfortable with it. I did see that viral video of the girl getting her hair done, and she said, "I'm so ugly." And I saw that a few years ago, and it was just really sad. I just wondered, like, where did she learn that? Like, what made her think that? Like, that doesn't just come out of nowhere. And that that right there is kind of like a prime example of why, just for me personally, it just bothers me, like the anti 4C hair. Like I said, there was a creator on this app like a few weeks ago who she did not have 4C hair. She had 3C hair, but she openly said she would not wear 4C hair if she had it. And she was just on this soapbox talking about how she thought it was unmanageable and just all of this other stuff. And it just really, it really, yeah, Shalosam said she saw the video. So it just like really bothered me. Like I watched like the whole thing, and it just the way that she was speaking about, like it was just like the worst kind of hair in the world and that it should be covered up. I mean, it like I to me that mentality, that's not really like, like a mentality of like self-love, of like being comfortable with your hair, even if you do want to wear a wig or a weave or whatever. But I do think when there's like a strong aversion to 4C hair, and when there's this idea that if you have 4C hair that it's not done, that I think one of the other ladies in the chat said that there was a YT guy who told her that he said, "Oh, I'm not relaxed because of your hair," like that. That in and of itself is insane too. But I really do think that at the end of the day, any woman can do whatever she wants to do with her hair. But I do think when it veers into telling other women who wear 4C hair that, "Oh, I can't believe you wear your hair like that. Your hair isn't done. You need to straighten your hair. You need to put on a wig or a weave. Your hair is not done if it's 4C. How are you going to a special event with your natural hair?" When it goes into that territory, that's when I feel like it kind of leans into self-hatred. But outside of that, I mean, obviously any woman can do whatever she wants to do with her hair, whether it's natural, a wig, a weave, or whatever. But I will yield there.
All right, I got you, Gabrielle. And I definitely think that you made a good point about the special event thing, because I have seen Black women talk about how like wearing braids or a natural style to like a special event is like ghetto, and how in the world can like the way your hair is be ghetto going somewhere. I definitely agree. I have watched so many Black women in like their weddings and stuff, getting married and stuff on TikTok, where they have had beautiful natural hairstyles. Some of them have had like twist out. Some of them have had like beautiful, like 2-strand twist, twisted up into like a beautiful bun or top knot or what all of these other things. And it looks very beautiful, very elegant. So I do know what you're talking about, though. I do think that's wild. I remember it was this one time, it was like this little Black girl. She was going to her prom. She had her hair natural. It was like in like a twist out. And she had like one side like twisted and then like a rose in it, and then the other side was like really out there, real big and real defined. It looked very beautiful. And people was like, "Oh, I can't believe you would wear your hair like that." And I'm like, what? Now that is I definitely think something that needs to be unpacked, that you need to you have internalized self-hatred for sure, because that's crazy. Especially like, what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I don't know if you guys think that I'm crazy, but I have seen these Black women, and I don't know if I agree with this, but I'm not here to shame Black women for how they wear their hair. But I've seen that there's a movement of Black women that say that if you comb your hair as a Black woman, you're manipulating it and you're trying to fit into white supremacy standards. So they're not combing their hair at all. They're just like leaving it. Like, and I think I don't know if I can get down with that. I think it looks weird, and a lot of times their hair be like matted, and it'd be like one side would be like more matted than the other. And I don't know. Like I don't know if that's anti-Blackness. I'm not here to. I think that every Black person on the planet has some type of internalized self-hatred and anti-Blackness, because we can't help it because of the way society is. So I'm not here to say, y'all can call me, say that that's a form of anti-Blackness. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong if you say that that's what I'm feeling. But I just say, I think it's weird that like you're not combing your hair. I don't like how that looks. I think it's weird. And I'm just wondering, like, when your hair is like 4C, and I'm talking about really 4C, and it mats down, I feel like that feels uncomfortable to me on my scalp. Y'all know what I mean? So I just don't know how you could just let it go that way over and over again to where you feel like that pressure of the heaviness of your hair, because my hair is extremely thick. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like that. And I don't like the fact that that group, subgroup of black women shame other black women for combing their hair. I don't know if you've seen that. One time I seen this whole discourse that was making me so mad, but I just didn't say anything because I didn't feel like it was my place. Cause I'm like, I don't know nothing about that. So let me not say nothing. But when I saw them being mad at other black women for combing their hair, I was like, are y'all crazy? What's wrong with y'all? Like, do y'all know what I mean? I don't know. Super Villain said that she knows what I'm talking about. Have you guys heard of that? Like I said, yes, to each their own. No disrespect meant. I would never go nowhere and make a live about that and say that, you know what I'm saying, that you can't do it or anything. But I do think it's a little weird. But once again, like, it's a lot of things I think is weird, but I'm not here to police black women. I really am not. Like, but I just thought it was weird to shame other black women for combing their hair. Like, I don't know. Supervillain, I think Supervillain knew what I was talking about. It sounded like she knew more than me. You there, Supervillain?
Yes, they actually call it free forming. Now I know a lot about this stuff because in New York they have a natural hair festival every summer. So people who wear their natural hair, all types of not just 4C hair, but even white tea people, all types of hair people come, and then it's like this big festival. You see pictures, like they use hair as art, all the stuff. So it's called free forming. Now, there is definitely a subgroup that's very anti-comb the hair. Anything combing the hair is anti-black. I do not like that. I think that's weirdo stuff. I'm going to say this. However, I like seeing the free form because a lot of these, it's not just women, it's men as well, and children have left their hair to go free form, and I know it sounds weird, it looks so beautiful because it looks like plants. It really shows how black people are connected to the universe. I'm not saying black people shouldn't comb their hair. I'm combing my hair. You know me. I'm throwing clip-ins in. I'm throwing in a headband wig in a minute. I do my 2-strand twist. I'm saying seeing their hair, it looks so beautiful because, Trick, it looks like plants. It looks like wildlife, like actual plants and trees and things like that. I don't like the community part about shaming black people for doing their hair. I just like to see how their freeform, how their hair grows. Like when you do not manipulate the hair in any way besides washing, it's really amazing. But I just came up here to say it's called freeforming.
Yeah, I've heard of freeform locks though, because that's like what Jay-Z got, right?
Yes. And there's another black lady on here who she's not like one of those anti don't do your hair. She just wears her hair freeform. I think I'll send you a picture her page. She talks a lot about it as well. But she's not like very anti don't do your hair. She just educates people about it.
I'll tell you what, if I was at a freeforming convention and I saw the whites there, I would be upset. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
No, you know what? I get it, but it's like a natural. You know what's so funny?
Oh,
It's a play on natural hair because some white tea people. I think you showed a picture before where they have like the like what do they call it? The can't do hair syndrome or frizzy hair syndrome or something like that.
uncombable hair syndrome.
Okay, so they will show up, and you already know New Yorkers take a L when it comes to gatekeeping a lot of stuff. So I
Yeah,
ain't gonna
because
lie.
that should definitely be gate kept. Like, because I know freeforming is once again another part of black people. Yeah, they should be
I ain't gonna lie. I take
checking
the
your
L on that.
yeah.
So let me drop down.
Oh my goodness. Super villain should be cracking me up, bro. But yeah, I have seen some semi free forms that can look cute, but that's not even really what I was talking about. I don't think. Um, but maybe it is. But the people that I saw that were talking about not combing your hair, they did not have free-form locks, bro. They did not have the hair that Jay-Z got or that the hair that Cam Newton got, because Cam Newton got free-form locks too, right? And there's a black woman up here that I've seen on TikTok that got, they was not that, man. Anyway, I thought it was weird, but like I said, I'm not here to shame any hair choices. I think that black women should be able to do their hair however they would like. Oh, and S. Whitney said in the comments that the live was skipping. S. Whitney, the only people that will be able to hear if the live is skipping is the people outside of the box. Like me as the host, I can't hear it. And the people that are in the box, y'all can't hear it either. Now I would say that if you started skipping, it's probably because of the stuff that I said about white people not talking to them and engaging with them. That's probably what it was. Like that's probably what made them report. Or the fact that I said that STDs originated with white people, which is the truth. Like, but you know, they don't like to hear the truth. So that's probably what caused the skipping. That's probably what caused the skipping, to be honest. Like, they're probably still massively reporting right now. Which is like when white people have these lies where they talk about you know, not liking black people and Trump and all of this other stuff. Like, I don't go in there and report them. I just hit not interested. But white people have a problem with wanting to be in black people's spaces and then tell black people what to do in those spaces. It's really sick and twisted. Like, truthfully, I literally just watched a video of a pastor, a white pastor, saying that black culture is ghetto and that the black youth need to be unalived. And if they would unalive a lot of the black youth, all of the crime in America would stop. Not ever mentioning the fact that there's still more crime committed by white men. But nobody talks about this. And more than the crime that black men commit, the only thing that black men or black people, which is black men, I don't want us to share in that, commit more on a higher level than white people is the actual homicide rate. And that is only like 2% more or something like that. And I'm not even going to argue per capita. You know what I'm saying? White people commit way more crimes than black people, but they never talk about this. They only hyper focus on black people. But yeah, they were talking about unaliving black people. So it's like, and in those comments, all I saw was white people co-signing. But you know who I didn't really see there was black people. So it's like white people always want to come in spaces where black people are and talk to them crazy. And you know what? You said there's a don't say black church movement after CK. Crazy. Do you know that I saw, I think it was Pastor Jamal Bryant, who is a scumbag, okay? Pastor Jamal Bryant is a scumbag, okay? However, he was talking about the fact that people are using Christianity to be racist and all of this other stuff. And then this white female pastor, made a sermon about him and was talking about how black people idolize being black above Jesus Christ and all of this other stuff. And I'm just like, are you dumb? Look at all the white people that do horrible things and call themselves white Christians and still believe that they are doing great, even though they're the most racist, most hateful, violent people of all time. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And honestly, I believe that Christianity will be demonized in America and you won't be able to be a Christian without being unalived. And the people that are going to push that and that's going to make it possible are white Christians. White Christians specifically, because white Christians, they are not of Christ. They are not of God. They are demonic individuals. And I believe 95% of white Christians are demons. Now, I have met a couple white Christians in my life that really were not like that. But I truly believe that 90 to 95% of white Christians are racist, violent demons that have no place with God at all. And they're going to get a really big surprise. They're not of God at all. And I really do believe that. White Christianity, I don't trust it at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. White Christianity is not something to trust at all. I really, really, truly do believe that. And they are going to be the number one reason why Christianity is going to end up being a offense that you can be unalived for. And I believe that. I believe that. Mark my words. And I do believe that it's going to happen in 10 years or less. 10 years or less, that's going to happen. And it's going to be white Christians that do it. Not black Christians, not Asian Christians, not Indian Christians, white Christians specifically. For sure. Because I have no idea how you can believe in God and believe in Christ and think that you being openly racist and discriminatory to other people is something that God would look upon you with favor for doing. What? You can go call people N-words and then you still think that God is with you. Do you know how crazy that is? That's crazy. But I don't even really talk about things like this because, I don't like to have religious conversations because I know a lot of people don't believe in it and there's no purpose in me putting that on you. But I'm just saying, white Christians are going to be the reason why Christianity is hated across the globe, honestly. Nobody else but white Christians. Hey, before I get out of here, did you have something to say, Kalandra?
I just wanted to say black women are, because of how our hair is, I have been criticized. My dad criticized me when I was younger, and he was the reason why I got a perm. And then when I started getting older and started wearing weaves, he had a problem with that. So at that point, I was like, yeah, black men are weird about hair. Why are black men so concerned with black women's hair when they don't care about anything else? Because I feel like they use it as like a tactic to spread hate to us about our hair. Because like I've even been judged by like coworkers at work who are like black men and be like, when I wear my natural hair, and they say stuff like, "Oh, it's not unkept." And stuff. When I wear weave, it's like, "Oh, they be whispering." And some people try to say people trying to be white. I feel like they just talk about people here to have a talking point for views and likes. It just adds on to the stuff on why they hate us. How come no one talks? I don't think wearing weaves and wigs are a form of self-hate. I wear it for me for protective styles and because it helps me grow out my hair. Why are they only concerned? Because I feel like they use it for self-hate, and I feel like they use it for clicks and views too. Because that black boy, I don't know what his name was, but he asking those other race girls, would they put that kinky stuff on their hair? I feel like for you to do so like that, that's just sad, childish, and immature. Because why would you embarrass black women for other races of women? I think black men overall are just weirdos.
I'll say this. What I thought was weird about when he did that is that he has the exact same hair growing out of his own head. So you are bringing Afro hair to these white Latinas and white girls and asking them if they would wear this hair, and you laughing and having a kiki when they say no. But you got the same kinky hair growing out of your scalp. And that's what I mean is that I don't think that we're ready to have the conversation that a lot of black men get haircuts, do brush waves, and cut their hair low because they don't like their hair either. But the only people that are talked about are black women because we're women, we're growing our hair out. That is what I feel like nobody's talking about. That dude, I promise you, like, I cannot stand him so much. And then he completely contradicted himself because he goes and brings his hair right to these white girls and these white Hispanics and whatever and says, hey, would you wear this Afro hair? And they're like, no, da-da-da-da-da. So what you're doing is pushing forth the narrative that there is something wrong with Afro hair. There is something wrong with kinky hair. It's ugly, and other races think it's ugly too. So then if you're pushing forth that narrative, why are you demonizing black women for wearing weaves and wigs? Because you just made a kiki that the hair was ugly. That Afro hair is ugly. So it's like, what are we talking about here? Do you want black women to wear their natural hair, or do you want them to wear a silky straight weave? What is it that you want them to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make it. Do y'all know how crazy that is? Like, yeah, he's a sick person. He don't be nowhere talking about black men and their literacy rate, their education, incarceration, but be somewhere talking about here with his big goofy behind. Like, boy. Anyway, yeah, he's so disgusting. I've blocked him. So I don't even see none of his stuff anymore. I saw his stuff like maybe a couple years ago. I went to his page and saw all of that coonery. I blocked him ASAP. I was like, oh, yeah, you getting blocked. You getting blocked. And then all you see is black men in the comments talking about oh yeah, that's right. They don't love their hair. They don't know nothing about, they don't even know how to take care of their hair. They don't know nothing. It's easy to take care of 4C hair. Then I go on these Negro profiles and they don't got no hair. They either bald headed, got a low cut, or a curly cut. How do you know what it goes to taking care of 4C hair? You don't even do it yourself.
And
But
then you know
anyway.
what else is the crazy part, Trigger? I was watching this Real Housewives episode when I was scrolling through Bravo, because even though I only watch the Black Housewives, I sometimes skim through the white ones. And this one white woman, you could see the tracks. Like, you saw how thin her hair was, and you could like see those tape ins. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, they looked it real bad.
And that's normally how it is, because nobody talks about the fact that Britney Spears, if anybody's watching Britney Spears like documentaries and stuff, Britney Spears ain't had no hair, bald headed. J-Lo, anybody know anything about J-Lo? J-Lo been bald headed since she was on In Living Color. If you saw her little documentary thing that she did on Amazon, bald headed. When they were doing her hair, getting ready to prep her hair, and they took all them clip-ins out, bald headed. But nobody talks about these non-black women that are bald headed, that run around here putting fake hair in their head 24/7. Nobody says nothing about that. And that's exactly why I refuse to have conversations to where I really get on black women for wearing weaves and stuff. Like, everybody likes, not everybody, but a lot of women want long hair. They want to look pretty. They want to feel pretty. And it's not any deeper than that. And if it is deeper than that, I'm waiting for other races to talk about their women before I come on here and start talking about black women and their hair and why they wearing this, that, and the third. I just think it's weird. Like, until I see people talking about these bald-headed white heifers, these bald-headed white Latinas, these bald-headed Asians, these bald-headed Indians, until I see y'all talking about them and why do they not love themselves, I'm not gonna be on here really getting ice cold on black women about it. I'm not. Black women, we deserve to be able to do things without being judged and policed. And literally, there's nothing that you can do as a black woman without being policed. And what's sad is that you got the white men, the white people that'll police you. You got black men that'll police you. And then you got black women that'll do it too. And that is what I don't know. It makes me feel some type of way. But I do understand that more of us need to focus on self-love and things like that. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm just saying I just can't do it. I can't get ice cold on black women when we got bald-headed J-Lo's and bald-headed Britney Spears out here and nobody has never said a single word to them. That's it. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate you, Gabrielle, for coming up. And I knew that when I had this conversation today, I was hoping you would come up because I remember you had asked like if we could have this conversation or whatever. And so I'm so glad that you were able to come. Appreciate you so much, Chilotam, for coming up as well, because I know you also said it's a topic that you wanted to talk about. Appreciate you, Supervillain, for coming up. I don't know if you're still here. Miss Trice, I appreciate you. Kalandra, I appreciate you. Dag, it was some other people that came up here too. Dag. Arima, I know, and Dag. I think it was two other people, but my mind is like so it's blanked out right now, y'all. So I'm sorry. If you were up here and I forgot, sorry.
Gigi.
Gigi, yes. Gigi came up here. Appreciate you, Gigi. And appreciate all of you ladies. And yes, I definitely agree with Miss Chrissy, baby. Black women are beautiful no matter what you wear. You're the standard. I totally agree with that. All right, I see y'all. Hope y'all have a great weekend, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.